What is up, the YouTubes? My name's Alan, aka NeoCryptor, and welcome to Starmade. Alright guys, so if you've never played Starmade and you don't know what it is it's akin somewhere between Space Engineers and Minecraft. Very Minecraft-esque mechanics and blocks and things of that nature. But of course it's in space, and you can build space stations, spaceships. You have a whole bunch of stuff. Huge galaxy to explore and do stuff in. I mean, all those little dots right there, those are all star systems you can visit and do things in. And you know, there's pirate stations, derelict stations, and all kinds of awesome stuff. There's a faction system in play where you can claim an entire sector, or you can claim a sector of space, and that will be your faction space. In multiplayer, that plays a lot into it, because there's this whole territory land grab mechanic thing that goes on, and it's pretty cool. Right now we are going to be playing single player, as I have not found a good multiplayer server to play on yet. If you guys know Starmade and you know a good multiplayer server, and I'm always open for suggestions. Anyway guys, so what we're going to do is just going to go through some of the basics of this. I think this is going to be a thing, because I checked this out a few years ago when it first came out, and I thought it was pretty neat, but it was really limited. But now, oh man, have they done some improvements to this game, and I am very excited to jump in. I've been playing it for the past 3 or 4 days, just getting my feet wet again, and kind of checking it out, and decide, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and make this a thing. So when you spawn in first time, you're going to be at one of these places. This is a shop. Oh, by the way, did I mention it had an economy system? I don't think I did, but yeah, it has an economy system. There's credits and all kinds of stuff. These shops are handy because you can sell and buy various things, and not all the shops have the same stock, so sometimes you have to kind of explore to find the right ones. Also, in the beginning, they're very handy because this little device right here, the Undetonator. Basically, what it does is it sets your spawn point, so if you get killed, this is where you'll spawn. Later on, you can, once you have a base set up somewhere, you can obviously build one of these, or buy one even, and just drop it into your base, and you'll be able to spawn in your base if you die. But keep in mind, there are some penalties if you die. You lose some credits, because, obviously, you have to pay to have yourself cloned back to life. I mean, come on, everybody's got to make money, right? There's also, I think that's the major penalty right there. Beyond that, if you have a faction system going on, or or if you're participating in the faction, I think your faction loses some points, because the faction system has a points mechanic that I don't fully understand yet, but we'll get to that later, especially once we find a multiplayer server to play on. Anyway, so the first thing that we want to do in Starmade is get ourselves a little bitty ship put together, just so we can get away from the shop and go find our own little territory. Maybe do some mining. Hey, I didn't even notice that. Cool. So I'm still noticing new things every time I come in. Like this. This is what is called a basic rail. These rails are, you can set all kinds of things up to them, and my words are failing me right now. But anyway, basically, the way it's configured right here, this is so you can dock a ship right there, which is kind of cool. Oh, by the way, it does have moving parts and a really robust logic system, akin to like Redstone and stuff like that. So you can set up some really cool things, hidden weapons up and doors that pop open, have little robots running around on these on those rails, as a matter of fact, doing things. It has a built-in fleet system, and the fleet system can be comprised completely of drones. So I can create a bunch of drone ships to follow me around while I'm mining to protect me, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, it's just got so much stuff in it. It's really amazing for what looks like such a simple little game. So the first thing we want to do is whoops, wrong button. I was in another game a little while ago, so my inventory button is different. But so you start out with some basic hull pieces, some power pieces, some thrusters, a salvage computer, which I'll explain that in a bit. The salvage module, again, I'll explain that in a bit. You get a helmet, which is not really needed. It's more for an RP aspect, but I think it looks good. 5 ship cores, which is your very first block you need to start building a ship. A few little handheld devices, a laser, healing beam, which is repairs like damaged systems and things on your ships. Power supply beam, which can supply power to things like factories, which you need to build various components and blocks in the game. Marker beam, which will, well, mark a planet, things like that, kind of like a GPS thing. And of course, 2 faction modules for starting your own faction, claiming territory, and a flashlight, and your own personal logbook, which I think is empty. Personal logbook. Yeah, see, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and close that, and let us hit the X key, which will start a new ship, and we're going to call this the Crapomatic Wonder Mabob. That is going to be the name of the ship, the Crapomatic Wonder Mabob, because it is our starting ship, and I'm not going to make anything too overly fancy on it. So, when you hit X and it starts a new ship, you spawn out this ship core. This right here, this is more or less where you pilot the ship. This actually can move by itself, and you don't really have to add much to it, but it's not going to be very effective, not going to be very good, and if you get shot, you're post-toasty fried, game over. Well, not really game over. So, we go up to it and hit R, which is the interaction key in this game by default, and automatically it's going to put us in build mode. In build mode, you can zoom all around it and place blocks, which is handy, and if you hit control, you can activate the symmetry and advanced building features, basically, which is pretty nice. So let's see, remove mode, show center of mass. We have lighten, which will basically kind of toggle a full bright mode, so you can see the blocks whether they're in shadow or not. You can see the full detail of things, which is kind of cool, handy if you ask me. Create docking. I don't know what that does. Play with that one later. We are going to leave the symmetry on, and I think is it Z? It is Z. Yep, it's Z. Okay, so boom, we're going to place 10 of these guys. Thank you. And these are your power modules. The power systems get kind of interesting too, because you can just stick them on willy-nilly, but it's not very efficient that way. What you want to do is basically kind of make different L shapes and T shapes, and that really helps with the efficiency of your power. It's kind of interesting the way that's set up, but whatever. Basically, from what I understand, system tries to automatically fill in the in-between blocks, but if you actually add those in-between blocks, lower your power. So right now we have 50,000 out of 50,000 power, so you know what, that's probably pretty good for the moment. This is not the most efficient setup. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can delete some of this and keep the same amount. Okay, so that brought us down to 1,826 power recovery a second. Bring it up to 2K. Still in the 2K. Let's go. Boom. Okay. But yeah, let's just add it back, I guess. All right, so next thing we're going to want to put down, at least I want to put down, is the good old-fashioned, ye old salvage computer. Whoops. Except we really don't need 2 of those, so I should probably go ahead and just kill... Oh man, excuse me, sorry about that. Killed the symmetry mode for the moment. That. So systems also work kind of interesting as well. Basically, turn symmetry back on. Off on blocks. Basically, one of these modules independently can function as a weapon or a salvaging, mining, laser, whatever you want to call it. But if you stack them together, it enhances, they act as one unit, and it kind of enhances their range and their speed and everything, which is nice. If they're touching each other in any way, that's what's going to happen. So, if I was to lay another row right next to this one, it would still only count as one beam, and I'd only get one output for that beam. But if I stagger them, kind of like in a checkered configuration, or as a lot of people are refer to it in this game, a waffle configuration, I'll get more bang for my buck, essentially. That, and left. Go ahead and set up this row here. But again, I want to kill the symmetry because we already placed it somehow magically on the far side. So good with that. Let's go. And these all these all link up with the computers. So like you have to have a salvage computer. Link salvage cannons or modules to. Otherwise, it's just not gonna do anything. It's gonna sit there and go, what was that? What do you want me to do? I can't do that, Dave. I'm sorry. I have to buy a couple of these. You do start out with 50,000 starting credits, which like a lot. Some things like the salvage modules, because they are cheap, it does go quite far, but there's other things that are quite expensive, so it doesn't. Like if we want to build a space station, we actually have to pay so many credits. I don't remember how much it is off the top of my head at the moment, to be able to place a space station starter block. And then after that, we're good to go. We can just build our station. It's not going to go anywhere unless pirates come and attack it, which could be a thing. Totally. Salvage. Yeah. So I need some of those. If you're also playing this game, another thing that's handy to buy, but not really necessary to, I bought salvage computers. Salvage computer. Sell some of these, shall we? Bear with me a second. Okay. That was my kid telling me he was leaving. Yay. Go ahead and get rid of some of these salvage computers because we don't need that. We need the modules. There we go. So, let's get money because I just want to finish off this row here. And later, we will want a much bigger ship with power. Okay, so we have power, we have some salvaging, so we can go and do some mining and tear apart any derelicts we find, because, that's a thing. Now we need some thrust, and we have a basic ship. Don't even need to put hull blocks on it, though. You won't be very protected if you don't, or you need to buy some shield generators, but we'll get into that later. Right now, just want to kind of get this thing going, kind of show you how the controls work and all that, and yeah. So it's not going to be very pretty, which you can make some really impressive looking builds in this game. I mean, I totally recommend you looking up some YouTube videos on some of the builds that people have made. They are so impressive. I mean, gorgeous. Because there is only a single block size, and if you're a space engineer player, basically every ship you make is technically a big ship gone wild, or a small ship gone wild, if you're familiar with that. Like large ships built out of small blocks, so you can create all kinds of detail. It is pretty good. All right, so let us get out of build mode and go into piloting mode by hitting Z. Boop. Go. Fight out. Okay. Oh, this does have Newtonian physics in play, so I can go and say speed up to max, which is 25 looks like for this little ship, and then I can turn around and look behind us, and yeah, that works out just PG. Oh, what is on the to-do list now? Gonna go look for a nice sector. I kind of want to find an interesting star to hang out by. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna look for an interesting start and system to call home. Kids not used to me recording, apparently. So that's the thing. Oh man, let's head here because that looks pretty good. These yellow rings signify asteroid belts. And then these are the planets. All the planets in this game are decahedrons, which, you know, it's still pretty cool because there's lots of planets and stuff and resources. But you have, you know, green signifies an Earth-like planet. I think red is like a lava world or something. Yellow is a desert planet. There's a purple planet, which is alien, and then a bluish-white planet, which is, well, an ice planet. We're going to go check out this system and take a look at it. So now that we've selected where we want to go, because you know, it's a pretty good idea to start out on a planet, in my opinion. You know, base to work with is something familiar. But what we do is we get selected, and then we click plot path. We're actually kind of generally heading toward it too. That's pretty handy. Go. Let's close our map and navigate toward our waypoint, which shows up as that little arrow right up at the top. And okay, let's hold shift. Shift will kill our momentum and let us realign a little bit. Going this way. So this is going to take a second. These sectors are pretty big. Go ahead and go back to the map and take a look around, shall we? So map navigation, you can obviously double click on a star and it will automatically center you to that sector. And you see how that little cross section is moving. That is your navigation for that, you know, that area of space. That'll move you up and down in the plane, and of course S and W. So that's how you navigate the map. And obviously once you're zoomed in on something, you can double click on a specific icon, such as that station icon or planets, etc. Navigate that way. So other things to point out while we're still en route, you see all these purple lines with these black dots. These are wormholes. Take you all over the darn place. So, you know, there's wormhole mechanics for getting around this vast galaxy. And of course you have jump drives, things of that nature to speed up moving around. So it's pretty cool, it really is. Anyway, guys, I've been kind of rude. How have you guys been doing? I mean, it's been a while since I've been recording. I'm just kind of jumping back into the saddle again now that things slowly started to actually get better. That's right. Things are getting better. Wow. Anyway, yeah, so hope you guys have all been doing well. I'm really happy to be back and actually be able to get some recording done, though my kids obviously are gonna have to get used to it again. It would be nice, maybe, I don't know. Oh man. All right, well, we're still 38k out. Oh, look at that glare. Find that star. Where is that star? Glare? Where the bloody heck is the star? Hello? Don't know. Oh. Okay, so we're getting close and starting to generate the terrain. So we are going to take some frame hits because this is kind of procedurally generated. Like I said, oh, see, there we go. Now we're in a nebula. I kind of like this. Kind of a golden nebula. That looks cool. Check that out. Oh, man, that is gorgeous. Digging it. Yeah, I think this will be a good sector to call home. Head for this planet over here, and we're going to go ahead and set up a couple quick little things, and then, you know, I'll show you how the mining works. Please. Hold that thought. Off. Take a look at our contacts. Wonder Mabob, or Crapomatic Wonder Mabob. Radiation filter. Let's turn on. Wait. Head back out toward the asteroid belt. Yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and do that. Right into the brightest part of the nebula. That is nice. There are lots of different minerals and different rocks and all kinds of things on a basic on the most basic like the crafting system, crystals and metal ore will turn into metal alloyed mesh and crystal composite, which is used in 99.9% of all recipes, so you need a lot of it. After you get some more refined machines, shall we say, you can also get these capsules, which are required in more advanced recipes. And they're, I don't know how to explain them or what to explain them as. Basically, they're these little capsules that give you kind of almost the essence of. Okay, there we go. Oh, yes. I'm going to do this. I do not suggest doing this at home. I want to show this off because this is something that I wish you could do in Space Engineers. See that rock? Good old rock. Nothing beats rock. Except when a spaceship hits it really fast. Now, we are stopped. Oh. We are stopped. The rock is moving. Check that out. You can actually knock the asteroids out of their stationary orbits, which I think is freaking awesome. Yeah, you don't take any collision damage unless that's enabled on the server. It is not enabled because landing on a planet right now is a pain. But okay, since we're here, let's do some mining. As you can see, there's currently no sound for these beams. I think there is a mod that you can install that adds sound to them, which we might look into doing that because all the mods for this game, as far as I know, all the mods are only client side, so it doesn't inhibit you playing on public servers or anything like that. So pretty cool. There's several mods out there that look pretty interesting to just modify the HUD and do simple things, change the looks of the beams, add some sound, things of that nature. Cool. And this is the way mining works. So once you get enough of an infrastructure set up, you can technically make a ship that could eat an entire planet and sitting rather quickly. Right now, we're just stuck with a few dinky blocks, so we need to just kind of deal with that. Tell you what, I am going to mine up some of these yum num num materials real quick, and we will be back and head to the planet and set up the faction module and kind of give you a quick basic rundown of how the crafting works. And then that's probably going to be it for this first episode of Starmade. So yeah, I'll see you guys here in just a little bit. For sure. Alright, so did some mining. I got a little bit of stuff and things, as you can see in here. Bobs. We're heading to a planet, and I chose a planet that is on the edge of the asteroid belt, so easy access to materials. Gotta love that. And yeah, we are getting some killer frame rate as it starts rendering in this planet. I probably have the graphics up a little too high. I have them on ultra at the moment, just because, oh man, the shadows look really. But I might have to play with the settings to get this smoothed out a little bit. So such a huge frame rate hit, but first episodes, you know how it goes. Or maybe you don't. Either which way, guys, I'll take care of the frame rate issues by the next episode. Everything smoothed out. So as you can see, the planets are decahedrons. Each one has a face, and the gravity is dependent on the face that you're at. So let us go ahead and take a quick look around and see where we want to build. This looks good right here. That looks nice and flat. Good for defense, because you do have to worry about pirates. They will attack occasionally, which is kind of a prompt. But if your faction home, as long as you set up a faction, which go ahead and do that. Oh god. Moving. Let's go ahead and set that up. I think that's Gate faction. Man, frame rates of absolute what is going on. I have to fix that. All right, there we go. That is much better. Got that sorted out somewhat for now. It was the shadows or throwing fit that I had them up on ultra, and so I just turned them down to simple. All right, so let's go ahead and start a faction. Galactic Shipyards. Why not? Sounds good, right? I think so. But I'm biased. So, okay. We started a faction. Now, what does that mean? Well, if we go over here, we now have this options. We have received invites, leave faction, invite players, receive diplomacy offers. Because, you know, inter-faction diplomacy is good. Edit faction description. So we can go in here and set things where it says this is a faction. This is the best faction because it is. Why not? We post news, so if we have, you know, other players and we're on a multiplayer server and we're the faction leader, we can put information in there. Manage individual enemies, so you can add, you know, like freelancers as enemies. Declare war on hostile actions if you're on a multiplayer server. This is probably a good thing to have. This means you can shoot back without repercussions. Public faction, etc., etc. Consider neutrals enemy, blah, blah, blah. If you're a pirate faction, that's probably good. So, you know, that's the faction interface. So what we're going to do now is we are going to... I forgot to buy a build block. Dag nabbit. That makes life a little bit more difficult, but not that bad. Okay. So we're going to go over here. Grab... button again. A faction module out. Going to place this faction module here. We're actually just going to plop that sucker down right there. Now we hit R. Faction signature. As you can see, it popped up on the screen. The planet signature has been changed to Galactic Shipyards. That means we own this planet. On that, we can take system control. Now we own this entire system. And then we can make this our faction home, this planet. Yes, I do. Benefit of that is faction bases, faction homes are indestructible. So anything I build on this planet cannot be destroyed by the pirates. Anything that is docked to anything I build. So like, you know, I set up a docking system so I can dock my ships to it. While those ships are docked on the faction home, they are indestructible. So that is a definite added benefit. You can only, if you're playing on a multiplayer server, keep in mind you can only have one faction home. So yeah, that's it. If you have multiple systems, you have to defend those systems and the things in them. So something to keep in mind. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show up the getting started with the crafting. So we open up our inventory, we have craft button, we find raw materials. So we are going to drop some stuff in there. Right click to separate stack. I'm only going to drop 100. That and drop 100 of that one, just so we have some crystal composite stuff like that going on. And now this will slowly chug through that kind of stuff. Now craft generic resources. Let's see what we have. That creates the capsules and stuff like I was talking about. Or no, it turns capsules into the alloy mesh, the basics. And we want to craft factory now. Oh, crafted 4 basic factories? Okay, I'm good with that. And you can stop that now. So, we have plenty of basic factories. That's not exactly what I wanted to do, but, you know, it works for now. So, we place down our basic factory, which... Now, if we open it up, have production modes. This is how you select the recipe that you want to make. And this is just the tier 1 of stuff that you can make. And man, look at this list. It's pretty big. The next thing we want to do, though, is we want to look up a capsule refinery. And let's take a look at the recipe. 10 alloyed mesh and 10 crystal composite. I think we've got that. And if you don't put in exact amounts, it will just continuously chug away on whatever you have it set to make. So something to keep in mind. Now you might notice it's not making anything. That's because this thing has no power. As you can see, now that we close that, every time it ticks up for a build tick, it's going to say insufficient energy. That little red text that pops up and goes away very quickly. So what we can do, a couple of ways of powering this. Grab that. The tooltips tend to get a little bit off, I've noticed. But you know, whatever. Power supply beam. One way of powering it. Now this can only power one thing at a time, so now we're adding power to it, and it should be able to tick away and make that capsule refinery here in just a moment. Power. Yes. Now we can drop this guy down, which I'm going to do first. Now this guy, as you can see, has no power either. Go ahead and deactivate production. Just for the moment. What we can do to power it is we can start adding down these power bricks, that just like we did for our ship, and that'll supply power to, I don't know if it's anything that's on this face of the planet or the entire planet. So no matter where we build on the planet, they'll have power, but don't quote me on that. I may be a little bit off. So let's go ahead and just drop some of these. 4, 2, so now that there, place that there. This would be a lot easier if I had a build block. The build blocks are, well, act just like your ship starter block, but they're stationary. Now we should have plenty of power to produce things. Next thing we're going to look, be able to make the next one. Standard factory. Okay. Production recipe, alloyed mesh, crystal composite again. You get the idea. That in, and as soon as it ticks over, if we have the right amount, composite, that's fine. Capsule refinery now. Chucking in that. That I think we can. Well, whoops. On activate, and now that's gonna start, boom, making stuff. Have a little bit of resources to play with now. That, and we can drop that in there, and it should generate our factory here in power because of this thing's hogging it all. So let's turn you back off. And like I said, power generation can get fairly in depth, but there's our basic, or no, standard, excuse me, factory, which we're just going to drop next to that one. That off. I don't know why those block. Oh, I know why those blocks. Next, we're going to grab the next level of factory, advanced factory, and then we'll get to getting some factory enhancers, which will speed up how it creates. But we'll probably do that next episode. Alloyed mesh 50 and crystal 50. As you can see, it queues up. that tick over, grab that factory, place it down. Have our absolutely basic array of things we need to be able to produce blocks and systems and everything done. Now we're going to want to set up some storage eventually, but for now, I think this is a good stopping point, guys. In between episodes, I'm going to do some more mining, and I'll probably set up a bit of a base structure, so these factory blocks and power grids just not setting out willy-nilly. Probably run to a station and get it built a little bit easier. Back for the next episode, catch you guys up, and we'll get some more things cooking, show you a little bit more about the crafting system and how that actually works out. Yeah, so right in the comments down below, let me know what you guys think of Starmade, if you've played the game before. Oh, and real quick, that's something to note. Planets actually orbit the sun, so as you can see all these sector markers, that's because we are orbiting the sun currently. So you come in and out of range of all kinds of things all the time. It's pretty cool. But yeah, in the comments down below, let me know what you guys think about Starmade, if you've played Starmade before, you know, what your opinions of it were. If not, if this is something you're interested in playing right now on Steam, you can get the demo version, which is actually the fully featured version of the game. There are absolutely no limitations. It's not missing any features versus the one that you pay for on Steam at the moment, which and that is until alpha is done. Once this comes out of alpha, the demo will probably be very limited on what you can do, but for now it's fully featured, so it's definitely worth checking out. If you decide you like it, it's like $15 on Steam, and it's honestly a really good game. I mean, very stable and works very well. And I hear random beeping. My phone's ringing. So I'm going to cut this outro short. All right, guys, till next time. This is Neo, and I'll see you in game.
Yeah.